chair right there in that green chair. Is that all right today?
All right, how you?
Okay. All right. Have you ever had a polygraph test before? No, it'll be some brand new for you. All right. Tell me why you're here today. What are the reason that you're here?
To my knowledge, I'm here because I decided to come forward on a highly profiled murder case, and just to trying to determine whether I'm telling the truth about what some individuals told me that their involvement in the case.
All right. Now you're gonna have to speak up a little bit because I'm a little sickly today, and my hearing is not quite what it should be. Okay? So speak right on up. They want to make sure you're not involved as well. Is that correct?
I didn't know that, but I guess.
Well, sure. I mean, if you're giving information, they want to make sure that, of course, you didn't have anything to do with this.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be logical?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, sure. We'll talk to the police about a criminal case. You have rights. What are those rights?
To remain silent.
What else?
Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
Mm-hmm. What else?
You have a right to an attorney.
Mm-hmm. Suppose you didn't have the money for one. What would you do then?
You'd be appointed one.
By who?
The courts.
Exactly. All right. There's those rights and several others that deal with polygraph. And we're going to talk quite a bit about that. Kind of give you an idea. You know, you've never had a polygraph before, so kind of give you an idea of what we do. We'll talk about you, your rights. We'll talk about knowing the difference between right and wrong and telling the truth. Certainly, it's pretty important to find out if you know the difference between right and wrong, isn't it?
True.
Okay? If you can tell the truth or not. Let me ask you right from the start here. Are you like a habitual liar or anything like that?
No.
All right.
Believe me.
All right. Now this case has to deal with a death. Are you any kind of a violent type person?
I'm not gonna say violent. I got an anger problem, but
To the point that you could do hurt somebody out of anger or those kind of things?
I've got into fights before, but I've never, went out of proportion like that. As far as that girl goes.
All right. Well, we're going to talk quite a bit about that. All right. We're going to talk about your health, mentally and physically, to make sure you're fit to take the test. We'll talk about the case itself, exactly what information you've given them. We're going to verify that and write up some questions about that. Of course, the questions that I ask you on your testing today, just I can't use them on just John Q. Citizen running around off the street. Okay, they're going to be specifically designed for you and nobody else. You're going to know what the questions are before I move you to that chair. You're going to make up your mind right then and there while we review those questions and talk about them, if you're being 100% truthful or if it's anything less than that. Now, certainly there's a couple different ways to lie. You can just a bald-faced lie where there's no shred of truth, where there's no shred of truth whatsoever to it. You can stretch the truth, make a fish story out of it, and make it sound better than what it really is.
Right.
Or you can keep stuff back and keep it secret, not reveal it. Okay?
Right.
Those are the three ways, isn't there? Okay? I don't want you to do any of those today. I want you to be 100% truthful. Okay? Don't add anything, don't subtract anything, don't try to hold anything back. 100% truthful. All right? Now, your position is you didn't have anything to do with this death. Is that right?
Nothing whatsoever.
All right. Then let's see if we can show that with the polygraph today. Okay? A couple questions to start with. Do you have any trouble reading or writing?
No.
Might seem strange or silly to ask you that, but a lot of people have a hard time with it. Do you have any trouble with your eyes, your vision?
Mm-hmm.
Left or right-handed?
Right.
You smoke?
Yeah.
How many packs you smoke a day?
Probably about a pack and a half.
Do you have an attorney in this case?
And the current case,
Mm-hmm.
uh, not no more, cause no, I don't have no attorney.
All right. Did you have one before in this case?
Yeah.
And have you talked to that attorney about coming here today? All right. This is an agreement to take a polygraph examination. Of course, we're in Madisonville. Today is December the 9th, 2004. What I want you to do to start with is print your first, middle, and last name completely out on that first line, and then stop, because you and I are going to go through that form together.
First, middle, and last.
First, middle, and last. All right. I, Jeremy Michael Adams. Mitchell. All right. Adams, voluntarily and without threats. What's that mean to be here voluntarily and without threats?
Your own will, you chose to come here.
Fear of your own free will. Good. Duress, coercion, two legal-like words. What do those mean to you?
Without threats, duress, or coercion.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning I wasn't forced or threatened bodily harm or in any type of way to come here.
Nobody twisted your arm, brainwashed you, anything like that to make you come here? Intimidation, trickery, anything like that? Okay. Force. Okay. Force means anything mentally or physically. Did anybody do anything to you mentally or physically to make you come here and talk to me or take the test? Promise of immunity or reward. Anybody offer you anything or guarantee you anything to come take this test? Okay. It says that you agree to take a polygraph examination for the mutual benefit of yourself as well as the Kentucky State Police. Next paragraph goes on to say that you fully realize that you're not required to take this examination. It means that no one can make you be here and take part of this test. So you have to want to be here. You have to want to participate.
Right.
If you don't, you need to get up and go to the door. Now, of course, you just can't walk out the door because with your attire, I assume that you're incarcerated someplace.
Yeah.
All right. So certainly, if you get tired of this and you don't want to participate, go to the door and knock on it, and they'll take you back. Okay. Of course, while you're here, you have the right to remain silent the entire time that you're here. That means you don't have to say one word the entire time that you're in here today. And that's going to be kind of tough to determine what you've told them and verify that through questions. To know that, of course, we're going to have to talk about that. I want to see what you have to say, and then I'll write up questions concerning that. But if you decide you weren't going to talk to me or anything like that, certainly you need to get up and leave now because you're wasting your time as well as mine, okay? Of course, you need to understand that anything that you do say could be used against you in court. That's pretty self-explanatory. If you do decide to stay and take part of this testing process, certainly what you say could be used against you. You need to understand that the examination or the testing will be discontinued or stopped at any time that you ask, and that you have the right to refuse to answer or discuss any question that I ask you today as your state police examiner. You have the right to talk with an attorney before you sign that form or take the test. If you wanted an attorney but didn't have the funds for one, certainly one would be appointed to talk to you before any questioning or before taking of this test. It says that you consent to the use of electronic hearing and recording equipment. Well, that means that everything we do and say is recorded today. Last part of that says that you voluntarily request and authorize the Kentucky State Police to proceed with your actual examination. Next sentence goes on to say that you authorize the state police to disclose both orally and in writing your examination results to, well, of course, that's going to go right back to the state police, post 1 over there, okay? What that means for you today is that before you leave, I'd let you know your test results. I'll let the detective know, and then I send him a written report. Last part of that says that you represent yourself to be in good mental and physical condition. You don't know of any mental or physical ailments or injuries that might keep you from taking the test. How would you rate yourself mentally and physically today? Would you say it's good or fair or poor?
Good.
All right. I've got a whole lot of questions to ask you about that. Okay. Last part of that important notice, big capital letters there. It says if you don't understand this form completely, certainly don't sign it. Seek advice or have me explain it to you thoroughly.
I understand.
Okay, any questions about your rights? Any questions about anything I've explained to you or talked to you about? Are you here of your own free will?
Yeah.
Do you want to take part in this testing process?
Yeah.
All right. I need you to pinch it in there again on the left and then sign it on the right. All right, Jeremy, do you have any nicknames or aliases that you go by? What do people normally call you?
Jeremy.
All right. And do you have a junior, senior, first, second, or third, anything like that behind your last name?
No.
Your street address?
248 Dorothy Lane.
248 what?
Dorothy Lane, Dorothy Lane,
Uh-huh. What town?
Mayfield.
What's the zip code there?
42066.
And your social security number?
401 15 4277
And your date of birth?
528.
How old are you right now?
24.
And what town were you born in?
Mayfield.
How tall are you?
6 even.
How much do you weigh?
About 175.
What are your eyes?
Green.
How far did you go in school?
10th grade.
Uh-huh. Did you ever go back for GED? Have you had any pills or medicines in the last 12-hour period?
No.
Take any medications on a routine basis? Are you under doctor's care for anything right now? When did you sleep last?
I just woke up about 6 o'clock this morning.
So you slept last night?
About 2 hours because I've been up all night.
All right. What time did you go to bed?
Probably about 5:30.
Uh-huh. What time did you get up?
I don't even know what time they woke me up, to be honest.
Okay.
They woke me up and called me up to the desk.
Okay. Why'd you stay up all night?
Just goofing around with myself.
When you did sleep you soundly?
Yeah, I slept all right.
Okay. Have you ever been treated by a doctor for nerves?
Hyperactivity and anxiety.
Are you still being treated? All right. When were you discharged from that treatment?
I refused to take the medication.
Okay. When was that?
Probably the last time I took medication was probably 2001, something like that.
You remember what month? All right. What did they have you taking?
I was on Paxil. I was on Neurontin.
What was it?
Neurontin. Vistaril. Seroquel. And Depakote.
Good grief, there's a lot of them. You needed every one of those? Did you take them every day, did you?
Yeah, I took out a whole lot of them because it stayed asleep all the time.
Uh-huh.
Made me sleep.
All right. Were you ever a patient in a mental hospital or mental ward?
I went to KCPC probably 2-3 times.
What's KCPC?
It's inside of Luther Lucky Penitentiary. It's for people that's tried to kill themselves, or they've tried to, or they're depressed or something, you know. They're dealing with something. Mental issues, I guess.
Okay.
Kentucky side today. I can't remember.
When's the last time you were in there?
2000, I think. 2000.
All right.
2001, I can't
All
remember.
right. How long ago were you told you could come up here for this test?
1 or 2 days ago.
Okay. Are you married, single, divorced, or separated?
Single.
Ever been married? Any children?
4, maybe 5. One I don't know about.
All right. How many boys?
4 boys and a girl.
All right. Ages on your boys?
I got one in Ohio. I don't really know how he is. He's got to be. I've never met him, so he's probably 5 or 6, maybe 7.
Okay.
Who knows?
Okay.
Jermion just turned 5.
Mm-hmm.
Jamonte just turned 4. My daughter, she turns 10 in March.
Uh-huh. And the other one?
And the other one, I've never met him either, so I don't.
How old do you think he is?
My estimate probably between 4.5, 5 years old, something like that.
All right. Were you ever in the military service?
No.
And you're in jail right now. What was the charge?
Assault.
Okay. And where'd that take place at?
Mayfield.
And what date were you locked up?
May 18th. I went back May 18th.
Okay. Any other arrests you've had?
I got different charges with that one right there.
With the assault?
Yeah,
What do you got with that?
I got 3 assault charges and a breaking and entering charge.
Okay. What else? You been arrested for?
In the past, or just this time?
No, in the past.
Trafficking cocaine, fleeing and evading, bail jumping, possession, marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they arrested me for that murder case.
Okay.
They got dismissed.
All right. Has all these happened in the Mayfield area?
No,
Okay. The cocaine thing, where was that from?
Paducah.
Okay, and the bail jumping, where's that at?
That's in Mayfield.
Okay. And possession of marijuana?
That was in Paducah too.
Okay. And the murder thing was out of Mayfield?
Right.
All right. Anything else? Are you on probation or parole right now?
I'm a state prisoner for real.
Okay,
So I
so you're
guess-
serving time right now?
Right.
Okay. All right, what institution are you at?
Kentucky State Penitentiary.
At Eddyville?
Right.
Good. All right, Are your parents still living?
As far as I know, my father's still living. My mother, she's still living.
All right, what's their names?
Mitchell Preston is my father's name.
Mitchell what?
Preston, Presson.
Uh-huh.
And my mother's name is Donna Bramlett. Bramlett.
All right. Were you working before you were incarcerated?
Yeah.
Where was you working?
Pilgrim's Pride, Mayfield.
And what do they do? Is that a bakery or something?
Chickens.
Chicken?
The chicken factory.
And what did you do for those guys?
Hang chickens. After they do whatever they gotta do.
All right. What was your rate of pay there?
$8.45 an hour.
And how long were you there?
Not very long.
Okay.
Probably at the most a month.
1 month? Okay. All right. Do you have any arthritis or rheumatism?
Not yet. I broke my hand a couple times. But I ain't got no arthritis yet. So when I get old, I'll probably have it.
Any sinus problems or sinus conditions?
No.
When did you eat last?
This morning.
When you went through school, did you ever have to go through any special education classes?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Special education. I couldn't get along with the teachers or the peers, or I just had behavior problems.
Okay. All right. Have you ever had rheumatic fever?
No.
Diabetes? Heart conditions? Asthma or lung conditions?
I got a little bit of asthma, but I'm not on nothing for it.
Okay. Probably doesn't help with the smoking thing, does it?
Right.
Yeah. Any shortness of breath or anything like that associated with that?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot?
Yeah.
You have any hay fever or allergies?
No.
Any kidney diseases or kidney problems?
I just don't drink a lot of water. You know, it makes my urine real dark. And I have to pee often.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a kidney problem.
All right. Do you have any high or low blood pressure? Or is it normal?
See, my mother, she's got high blood pressure, and I heard a little bit from her, but it's not as bad as hers. You know, I get anxious sometimes.
What's it run when you get it checked? What's it usually run at?
I couldn't tell you.
Has the doctor ever told you got high blood pressure and wanted to put you on medication?
I mean, sometimes like my chest would break out real red. You know what I'm saying? I get upset or something. I break
Little
out.
hives and
Yeah.
those kind of things? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do it. I haven't done it often, but I have done it.
Okay. Any thyroid conditions?
No.
Permanent back injuries? Contagious diseases? Hearing loss? Ulcers?
Nope.
Seizures?
Nope.
Tuberculosis?
Nope.
Polio?
No.
Have you ever been treated or consulted with a psychologist or psychiatrist other than, what is it, KCPC? Any alcohol to drink in the last 24 hours? Other than what we've talked about already, have you ever been to any other counseling for any reason? Okay. Have you been a patient in the hospital for anything serious in the last 6 months to a year? Had injury, had trauma like that within the last 6 months to a year or so? Do you have any pain or discomfort now? Sometimes controlled substances have an effect on your charts. That's the only reason I'd ask you these next few questions. Have you ever used acid or LSD?
No.
Have you ever used marijuana?
Yeah.
When's the last time you used any?
Say May. When I got locked. Right
May
before I
this
got-
year?
Yeah. Before I got locked up.
Okay. Used cocaine?
Yeah.
Last time you used that?
That was probably May too, because when I went on the run.
Okay. Heroin?
Nah.
Opium? Methamphetamines? Speed? Crack? Any Oxycontins, Valiums, any of those kind of things?
Valiums. I
Okay.
took a couple Valiums.
When's the last time you used any of those?
Probably May. About May. Around May sometime.
Okay. Peyote, mushrooms, ecstasy, designer drug, club drugs, anything like that? Who were you raised by while you were growing up?
Oh, my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
She's from Mayfield.
All right. Did you have brothers and sisters?
I'm supposed to have three. I know I got one sister that I met by my father, though. I'm the only child by my mother.
Okay.
I've never met them. I've got some out there somewhere.
All right. You weren't raised with her? Okay. How'd you get along with your grandma while you were growing up then? She was the only one that was around you when you were growing up?
Yeah.
How'd you get along with her?
I was, other than I'm real hyper,
Mm-hmm.
I got along with her all right.
All right. Tell me a little bit about your hobbies and recreation. What do you like to do?
I like to lift weights, play basketball, all sports. I love sports.
Okay.
My hobby's gonna be when I get out is designing cars. I like designing cars.
All right. Like new body styles or paint jobs or,
Yeah.
or what?
All that.
All that? Okay. Out of all the animals in the world, what one single animal would you say you like the most?
I like a dog.
Any special kind?
Rottweiler, yeah.
Yeah. Right now, who's the most important person in your life?
You know, my kids.
Let's go the opposite direction. Who would you say that you dislike or disrespect the most?
I don't really dislike nobody.
All right. What do you think has been the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your lifetime?
Oh, Lord. Going to the penitentiary.
Uh-huh.
Catching felonies.
Mm-hmm. What do you think has been the very best thing that's ever happened?
My children.
Mm-hmm. When you're around people, do you like a large group of people or very few people?
I prefer very few people.
Why don't you take a couple of minutes and describe yourself to me? Tell me what kind of person you are in here, okay? What would you tell me about your personality and character traits?
I mean, I believe I'm a very confident, determined, easygoing, I got a big heart, you know. The people that I am around, the people I choose to hang around,
Mm-hmm.
have a big heart for, you know, the individuals or whatever. I don't know what else to say.
All right. Let's talk a bit about your honesty and your integrity. Certainly that's one thing that we're checking today. If I were to interview those people that know you the closest, those few that you let in, would they tell me that you're truthful and honest?
I'm not sure which people you're talking about.
The ones that you say that you were get close to.
Yeah.
All right. If you were going to let's put you on an honesty scale. Let's say 0 is the kind of guy that would never tell you the truth whatsoever. Maybe he likes to lie. Tell you 10 lies when one truth would serve a better purpose.
No.
He'll go out of his way to lie to you. We're going to say that's a 0 on the scale. The other end of the scale is a 10. Now that's the most trusted person you could ever think about being. Where would you be on that scale?
To be truthful, you know, everybody's guilty of telling a lie in their life, but that's something I don't do often, so I'd say I give myself at least an 8.5 or 9.
Good. All right. And you're right. I think everybody's probably told a lie at one time in their life. That's how when we start telling lies when we're little kids and we get corrected for it, that's when we start knowing that, hey, there is a difference between right and wrong and telling the truth. And, depending on what kind of discipline you got, whether it was a scorn talking to or a whipping or standing in the corner or, any multitude of different things, certainly there were consequences for lying as well as whatever got you into trouble to start with.
Right.
And the next time you thought about lying, of course, you thought about those consequences, those extra consequences, and you thought maybe a little better of it, or you went on a little more defensive tactic than what you used before. When our body goes through that, okay, it's preparing itself to either fight and back up that lie, maybe come up with a couple more of them and make it sound better, or it wants to get away from it, because nobody wants to be found out as a liar. So there are certain physical things that happen to our body when we do tell a lie. And we'll talk quite a bit about that later on. The FBI is famous for their studies of crimes and criminal acts and the kind of people that commit those things. And for when we talk about death and injury and those kind of things, certainly they come up with a lot of different things that's common for people to become involved with. Lies is pretty generic, okay? The other part of that is, of course, people who hurt others. It's not usually their first time out of the chute. They become involved in fights all their life. They start fights. They're the schoolyard bully. No matter what happens, they seem to end up into it and start it. Are you the kind of guy that goes around starting fights and looking for trouble?
No.
Okay. You're not the kind of guy that would try to hurt somebody just out of meanness or spitefulness, would you?
I've been guilty of, if I didn't like a certain person, a certain individual, I wouldn't just go out and start a fight with somebody, just anybody. Somebody had offended me in some type of way. I felt I was right by going to this person and confronting them with the situation, and the fight is what resulted out of it.
Okay, but you would have to be offended to start with. Something would have to happen to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't just do it to
you. You
anybody.
would just go out and do something.
No.
Okay. All right. So you're not going to just go out and try to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you the kind of guy that would, let's talk a little bit more about truthfulness and those kind of things. Are you the kind of guy that would lie to hurt somebody? Would you try to lie and rat somebody out and just to get them in trouble when they didn't do anything wrong? All right. Are you the kind of guy that would lie to blame like little Johnny down the street for something that you got?
Yeah, I'm the type of individual. I've been to the penitentiary 4 times, and I've raised I was the way I was raised. I don't really believe in telling nobody, period, much less making a lie about 'em.
Okay.
You know, it's been a very hard decision for me to make to even come forward with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't believe in telling on nobody anyway.
Okay.
You know, much less make something up on them.
Okay. All right. So you just assume not to tell anything.
Right.
Okay.
If I was
So you're not gonna
if I was
blame anybody for something that you've done wrong yourself or anything like that?
Yeah.
All right. Are you the kind of guy that would lie to try to get out of trouble? Always been responsible for your own actions?
I ain't had no choice. I've been to the penitentiary 4 times.
Okay.
You know, I've never tried to. You can, you know what I'm saying, check any kind of the records. I've never worked with the police before at all.
Okay.
You know, and it shows that I don't have no trail of that type of, you know, technique, whatever you want to call it, working with the police to try to get out of trouble. I've always went to the penitentiary, done my time, and got out.
All right. All right. Good. All right. This case has to do with somebody that you know. Is that right? Jessica?
Right.
All right. How did you know Jessica?
I didn't really, I can't say that I know her. I know her as far as what her personality is and her character, you know what I'm saying? I can't say, like you asking me if I'm a liar.
Uh-huh.
I can't say I can't say that I know if she would be a liar or not.
Okay.
I don't know her that good.
Uh-huh.
The only altercation, or not altercation, but I met her when I was walking down the street. Me and my girlfriend had gotten into it. Every time my girlfriend me and her get into it, she just puts me out. You know, she just get on
Kick you out to the curb?
Yeah, just get on out of her, get away from me. And I just rather just get away from her and sit there and argue with her. You know, she got one of them mouths that just make you mad, just get away from me. So I just take off walking. Well, this particular night, I decided to walk down Broadway. You know, there's a whole lot of lights and buildings and stuff like that. I'm walking and I see a black car. I can't remember exactly what model of the car it was, but it was kind of like a Pro. I remember it had a hatchback on it,
Uh-huh.
2-door. And I heard some females in the car. I'm across the street from a gas station. There's a gas station, there's a payphone right there. And I guess they was talking on the phone. And I heard them, hey, come here. So I'm like, oh, it's females, you know. Me and my girl just got into it, so I'm going over and see.
Sure. Check it out. See
Yeah.
what's going on. Sure.
Yeah, I'm see what's going on.
Uh-huh.
So I go over there and there's a black chick in there, you know what I'm saying? And then there's a white chick in there. The white chick's on the phone. You know, the car is backed in with the front end of it facing the street. So she asked me my name. We got to conversating a little bit. I asked her if they smoke weed. When the other chick got off the phone, they said, yeah, we smoke weed. Well, I had just got some weed from my cousin. And they said, yeah, we smoke weed. And I said, well, what y'all want to do? They said, well, we got to go do something first. You know, can you meet us over here on 15th Street by the blue building, or not the blue building, but the club, as they call it. It's not really a club. And I said, yeah, I can meet you over there. So I walked on down to the gas station. I got some cigars, because that's, you know, pretty sure, you know, that's what younger people smoke weed out of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I went down there and I decided to walk on down there. As I was walking into the parking lot, they was pulling in, coming up the hill, pulling in.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in the room and went straight back to the back bedroom. I rolled up 2 or 3 cigars, blunts as they're called on the streets. And we smoked, and I asked Jessica, you know, I was physically attracted to her, you know, and I could tell by the way she was talking to me, you know, she wasn't real flirtatious or, you know, but I could tell, I can kind of get that sense when somebody is attracted to me.
Mhm.
So I asked her if she wanted to walk outside, go walking or something. We go out first. We sat in the car. I remember we sat in the car and we didn't want to sit in the car, so we got out of the car. We just there's a little street behind the apartments, and there's an abandoned house up on top of the hill. We got to talking about sex and things like that. Uh, I was high, so when I'm high, I just come out and say anything. If it's on my mind, I'm gonna say it.
Mhm.
And I asked her, we could have sex. We ended up going up to this abandoned house. We had sex right there behind the house. I was kind of scared to go in the house. The window was open. I looked inside and there was a big water bed in there. I didn't know if it was cracked beans in there or what, so I didn't go in there. So it was kind of a comedy way of, I feel like comedy too. So we went in the backyard. We had sex on the grass. And,
What time of the year was it?
oh, well, I've added it up because when Jessica first got killed, I added it up. It said at the time that her child was 7 months old when she died. I added it up. I counted back 7 months, then 9 months. And it's gonna put us in a 3-month time frame between, let's say, around April of 99. I'm gonna say around April of 99 that we were supposed to have sex, you know what I'm saying? And it added up, what I got from it as far as the child and stuff like that. But after what happened that night, I gave her a kiss on her head. I remember I asked her because I didn't wear no condom, and I ejaculated inside of her. I remember it well.
Mhm.
But I never even knew the girl's last name. All I knew was her name was Jessie. She introduced her name was Jessie.
Mhm.
I asked her if she had AIDS. It kind of hurt her feelings, but my hormones got in the way at the time, and I wasn't thinking about that no way until after the fact. So I asked her, and it kind of hurt her feelings. And she said, no, I got nothing. I kissed her on the forehead. I remember I didn't give her my pager number. She didn't give me her phone number. We had no ties whatsoever. I had a girlfriend. So I said, I'm gonna have to go. We parted. And right after that, I got busted in Paducah for selling crack. I go to jail. I get out. I don't go back to court. I go on the run. I go to Murray, where my mama was staying, Dyersburg, Tennessee, Lima, Ohio, Indiana. I went a whole lot of places, just on the
Floating
run.
around?
On the run, I didn't have no one particular spot that I'd like to stay because, like I said, I'm anxious, nervous type person, so real paranoid type person. So I didn't want to stay in just one spot, so I'd move around, so the police wouldn't catch up with me. I think I was on the run probably 9 to 11 months. But I never seen Jessica Curran, I didn't even know that's who that was.
How did you know that Jessie, the one that you had sex with, find that out, was the same one that was killed?
Okay. Well, see, the police had been coming to me, right? When I first seen her picture on the TV, it was a glamour shot. I didn't recognize her in the glamour shot. So I was in Murray at the time. I'm watching my mom's TV, and I'm like, they just found a body in Mayfield. And I didn't think nothing of it. It's kind of shocking, a murder in Mayfield. I didn't recognize the picture. Anyway, I end up going back to Mayfield. I get caught by the police. They take me to jail. I'm on the run from Murray, Mayfield, and Paducah. I got charges in all 3 counties. So I go to Mayfield. I get charged. They take me to jail. All of a sudden, this guy Tim Fortner, he's in the FBI. Came in there. They take me in a chapel and they say, Jeremy Adams, you familiar with Jessica Kern? What? Said she was the one that was murdered behind the middle school. I'm like, why are you here talking to me about this? And they said, well, it's a rumor on the streets that you had a child by her. Well, like I said, I didn't remember her picture from on the TV. So I'm like, how can I have a baby by somebody and I don't even know her? See what I'm saying? It was an honest mistake. And they was like, well, supposedly before she died, she said that her father's name was Jeremy. I'm like, it still ain't ringing. You know.
Did they show you another picture of her then?
Later on, when I went to Paducah, see, I pled guilty to bail jumping. They gave me 7 months time served, so I went on to Paducah to face my trafficking charges. I get down there, they start coming on a regular basis. They told me my name kept coming up as the father of this girl's child. So I'm like, man, how can I clear my name, man? You know, so y'all leave me alone. I requested one of these. I requested a DNA test. They said they found DNA at the crime scene. And I said, man, give me a DNA test. I'm not guilty of nothing. I wasn't involved with this murder. Why would I kill her? There's no purpose in me killing her or being involved, period. So I did everything I could to try to clear my name then and there, so they come and get me. I think it's the same day they come and get me to take me to take a DNA test. They showed me some, I remember, I think it was January 15th, 2001. They showed me some crime scene photos. It had her body, it was outrageous, it was blitzed, you know, you couldn't tell who she was or nothing like that. She was burnt to the crisp, you know, and the pictures is close up, you know what I'm saying? So you can see up close her skin and stuff like that. Like for example, like if you look real close in the picture, her tongue is sticking out of her mouth, you know what I'm saying? Then real close, you can look down the side of her legs and it looks like something's dripping off her legs. And I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying, I go back to the cell and I tell these guys specific details, you know, about these pictures. They turned around on me and said, and used that about me. I tell them that me and Lolo is the suspect in the case. They take that and use that against me and say I admit to it. But the DNA comes back, it don't match me or nothing.
Did they take your DNA and match it to the child?
No, they've never given me a DNA test on the baby. But sure enough, I believe the child is mine because, like I said, I'm the only Jeremy down there that I know of that hangs out in that area of town, or, you know.
What about the other girl that night? Did you ever get her name?
I remember she was living, I seen her a whole lot down there where I was living. I was living on Anderson Street, and they call it the White Projects in Mayfield. She was living like right down on the curve, and I gave the police that information. I told them, you know, I believe that's where she lives at. You know, but I don't know what came out of that. But
you remember what her name was, though?
I have no idea.
No idea?
I remember she had long blonde hair, but I really didn't pay too much attention to her that night. You know, she was kind of dingy, you know, and that's annoying to me, so that's why I told Jessica, I said, you know, let's go outside. That's one of the reasons why, but the other reason why, because I want to have sex, you know, to be truthful. But you asked me, how did I know about the baby and her? How did it come together to me realize who it was? Well, when we was driving back from the hospital, Western Baptist Hospital, I'm sitting in the back seat and I start thinking about that certain chick, and I remember she introduced herself as Jessie. Then I remember the girl Jessica. Then I remember her eye. I couldn't see it on the glamour shot, and this is the reason why I asked to see another picture. Her eye was kind of, it had like sleep in it, you know what I'm saying? Her eye was kind of messed up, you can tell. And I'm like, man, I believe it's her. You know, I'm starting to think about it more. The more I think about it, the more I'm, you know, believing it's her. So we're riding back. We get back to the jail and they show me a picture of her holding a child. So I'm like, that's her. I remember her. And I said, see, I could have lied and said, man, I don't know her still. But instead, I told him the truth. Look, man, I do know her. And I looked at the child and he looks just like my son, Jermion. It looked like he had colored eyes and like green eyes. You know what I'm saying? He's a mixed child. It looked like he looked just like my son. Then I seen another picture of him in the paper where her mother was holding the child, and he's dead on my son, my first son. But not my first son, but by the certain female. But I put it together, and that opened up. It seems like that opened up by me being honest. That opened up the whole nother door, you know, for them to keep coming back to me. You know what I'm saying? And then I go back, my heart was in the case from the beginning, because when I seen them pictures, it crushed me, you know what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm thinking, maybe, you know, after I found out who that was, I'm thinking, man, you know, wonder if that child is mine, then that's my child's mama that got done like that. And still to this day, I remember them pictures in my head. That's something I'll never forget. But, you know, my heart's been there for the simple fact I believe with all my heart that that child is mine, to be truthful with you. You know, and they...
So that brings us up to how you met her and those kind of things. Now, sometime after that, you told the detectives that you had a conversation with some people about
this.
Maybe they had some involvement with this.
This conversation took place, I'm gonna say, back in February, March of this year. You know what I'm saying? The only person I had connections with, or not even a connection with, the only person I knew out of all three of these people, well, all four of these people, which I only talked to two out of those four, but the only people I really knew was the chick, Benicia, and that was her best friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Benicia was this girl's best friend.
Okay. How did you come about meeting Benicia?
I met Benicia through my mother, because my mother was friends with this girl named Jessica Tucker's mother, and Benicia was Jessica Tucker's friend too, and she would always be over. She's had a crush on me since she was like 13, 14 years old. She was real young, and I never give her time of the day. You know, she was so young. But I got out of the penitentiary January 30th this year, and you know, I've always believed that Venetia had personal knowledge of Jessica Curran's murder.
Why?
Because she was her best friend, and according to the police, that she's the last one to seen the girl alive that night.
Oh,
See what I'm saying? And so I'm like, she knows something. You know what I'm saying?
So you took it upon yourself to go talk to her?
See, like I said, let me give you an understanding why I went to her. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my heart has been with this case, and from the get-go, you know, I'm talking about deeply, you know. Then the whole time I'm charged with the murder case, I'm seeing the family's pain. You know, I'm witnessing it for myself. You know, I can see it in the face, and I can't possibly imagine my child be done the way their child was done. I can't possibly imagine the pain in that.
Sure.
You know, so I seen her mother and father at the mall. You know what I'm saying? This is after the conversations took place, you know. And I told them I could help them. I wanted so bad to tell them, but like I said, I've never had the experience to coming to the police and giving information. You know, I don't have that type of experience because I've never really got involved in that. But like I said, man, while I was charged with the murder, I kept telling the family, I kept telling everybody, man, I have no involvement in this. What would I kill this girl for? She's never done nothing to me. I only knew her for probably 45 minutes out of my life. There's nothing this girl could ever do to me, period, that make me want to do something like that to her, you know. I couldn't even do it to a man. You know, most I could probably do is beat him up or something, you know, but I couldn't do nothing like that to a man. Person like that, to me, they had no remorse. You know, they took it way out of proportion. It was overkill to me, you know. But anyway, like I said, my heart was involved, and I promised the Kerns, I said, I would do what I can to do to help you, you know what I'm saying?
So when did you talk to Venetia?
I talked to Venetia, it was after I talked to Quincy Cross. Quincy Cross is the one who admitted to me that he had killed her.
How come he said he killed her?
He didn't give me a reason why he killed her, you know.
When did this happen? When did he tell you this?
What day?
Yeah, do you remember what?
I don't know what day. I now remember it was either February or March of this year.
Of this year, though.
Then I talked to him.
What did he tell you?
I remember, see, how we ended up getting into a fight that night over my girl that I'm with now. You know what I'm saying? Because while I'm in the penitentiary, he had tried to kiss her on the neck. You know what I'm saying? And I know at this time that he's a suspect in this case. So I'm thinking, if he's got anything to do with it, then he's around my other kid's mama, then I'm furious, you know. Man, get away from her, you know. Then he tried to kiss her on her neck. See, his girlfriend, Tamara Caldwell, was my girlfriend's best friend. And they was always around each other, and he tried to kiss her on her neck. So when I got out of the pen, his name kept coming up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I accused my girl of having sexual relations with him. You know what I'm saying? But a long time on, I come to find out that wasn't true. But I decided to go to his house. I knew he was staying with Tamara down in the White Projects, again, where I used to live on Anderson Street. So I go down there, I knock on the door. You know, I'm drunk. You know, kind of acting foolish for real. Me and my girl, and again, we're in an argument again. And I left. So I go knock on his door, and that just keeps going through my head. I can't get it out of my head. You know, what if they messed around while I was locked up? And then the situation, what if he killed Jessica Curran? Then he's around my girl. You know, I'm.
What do we keep from hurting her?
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's the way I'm thinking, you know. So I decided to find out for myself, and I didn't have no intention to go down there and find out about a murder case, period. I just had to, I went down there just to find out about what happened while I was locked up. So I knock on the door, Tamara answers the door. I look inside the door, she said, there he is right there. I look inside the door, he's playing with a baby. I said, come here, man, I'm mad. Come here, man. So he comes outside. I get in his face. I said, man, do you know who I am? He said, I got a pretty good idea. I said, who am I? I'm sure he knows who I am. I've been on TV for the last forever, you know. Everybody knows who I am, whether I want them to or not. You know, and I said, do you know who I am? He said, yeah, your name is Jeremy. I said, well, what's this deal about you kissing my girl on her neck while I'm locked up? You knew that was my kid's mom. I know you did, because everybody in Mayfield knows her. You know, that I was with her. Then he said, man, I didn't do it. I said, okay, let's just go on over and talk to Ned then. I'm going to get them both together. You know what I'm saying? When they get them both together, and that way I can determine who's lying. Either she's lying or he's lying. You know, one of them's lying. You know, I just wanted to get it to clear my conscience about the situation. But me and then on the way over, we started talking. I was just sowing little throwing little hints in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't care as far as, I said, man, you know I was charged with that case, you know. And I would throw little things like little hints in there. I said, man, I know you. I believe in my heart that you was there. You know what I'm saying? You may not have done it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I throw him all the way off, but it ain't none of my business. I don't care one way or the other. You know, that's not my business. You know, I was making him think. You know what I'm saying? Like I had no feelings whatsoever for this chick, and that way he felt like he could trust me. You know what I'm saying? But we got over, you know, so we jumped down off the hill. We walked through a graveyard. We jumped down off the hill. When we got on the railroad tracks, it just kept running through my head. You know, this guy, he gets my girl on the neck. He gets her on the neck. So we end up getting a fight down on the railroad tracks. I don't know where the blood come from, but I had blood on my hand. I'm thinking it came from his head because his face wasn't bleeding. And we go, I live right across the railroad tracks. We go over on Maple Avenue, then we get on over. We went in. My girl looks back, she sees Quincy Cross with me. She's like, oh my God, you know, why is he here? Like, well, what's this deal? What happened? You know, what's going on between you and him? What's the tie here? And come to find out that he kissed her on the neck and that they didn't have no sexual relations whatsoever. So I said to myself, well, I done beat him up, you know, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. She done seen the blood on my hand. I felt like I proved my point, you know, to her, you know, to him, you know, leave her alone, basically. That's my girl, don't mess with her. So I said, man, go on and get you a beer out of the refrigerator in there. Well, that's what he done. He kept going to the refrigerator. He just kept going in there. You know, I didn't care. You know, kept on telling him getting a beer. Plus we had some Canadian mist. We had just had left over from my girlfriend's birthday party we had at her sister's house. And we just drinking, you know, listening to music. My mama she knew that his name was involved in that murder too. She tried to seduce him. It was kind of comedy, you know. I'm on one couch and my mama and Quincy Cross is on the other couch. She's over kissing on him and everything. And I'm laughing, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, what if he had something to do with that? And then my mom was over there with him. See what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh my God. I said, Mama, get up off of him, you know, leave him alone. Anyway, he stayed over her till probably 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? He was there pretty much all night long. I can't give you the exact time. I'm just. But
what did he tell you?
We go outside. You know what I'm saying, and we just start trading war stories. We start talking about the GD Nation, the Gangster Disciples, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And the number one code, the rule in the Gangster Disciples is silence. You know, and silence about anything that goes inside of that nation or that organization. Silence. It shall not get outside that nation. If it gets outside that nation, then there's repercussions as far as death or a violation. A violation can be anything. You know what I'm saying? Get beat up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we was trading war stories. We was out there just talking, kicking it. The whole time I'm shoving beer and Canadian whiskey in it, but I'm drinking myself too. But I'm not like him. And I would ask him something like, I would say again, I said, man, I care less, you know, it's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? I kept throwing little hints at him. And I said at one point, I said, to throw him all the way off and give him full assurance that he could trust me with information like that, and that I didn't really have no concern for her. Truly I did, but I didn't want him to know that. I would say, man, y'all just murked the bitch. Y'all did what you had to do. I said, murked means murder in a slang word, in the street form. He was like, man, we had to. Like, damn, you know, this man just admitted to me this. And it was kind of shocking, you know, and I would say other things to him, and But as he was saying little things, as I would say something to him, he would reply to it. And when he would reply to it, I would feed it. You know what I'm saying? I would feed his ego. I'd be like, man, damn, dog. You know what I'm saying? You a cold killer. I'm making him think I'm giving him props for what he's done. But, you know what I'm saying? And he just bit. You know what I'm saying? I can't say how.
So bottom line, what did he tell you happened?
He told me that on the night of the murder, he said Austin Leach is a white guy. Quincy Cross is a black guy. He said that he called out to the mini mart. Austin Leach called from a mini mart to Chris Drive, where Quincy Cross had been at. There was a certain party or something going on Chris Drive. You know what I'm saying? And he called out there and asked him for a ride or something to go, supposedly go get his car or something else from a car lot where Austin's car had been at or something like that. And from my knowledge, that Quincy Cross had borrowed another guy's car. When he borrowed the car, he took it to Mayfield. He met Austin Leach by the mini mart. He said he met Austin Leach by the mini mart. When he met him by the mini mart, said they proceeded to go and get Austin Leach's car. And they parked. I remember he had mentioned a parking lot. I don't know which parking lot. I don't know where it is. But he said, he just kept saying parking lot. Man, I parked the car in the parking lot. You know, that's how he was saying, man, I parked the car in the parking lot. When they parked the car in the parking lot, they got in both of them got in Austin Leach's car. Well, they was riding around or whatever. This is what I'm getting out of the story. They was riding around and they had ran into Benicia, the girl's best friend. From up on a one-way street from what I had talked to Benicia too, and that's what Benicia had told me. She said that she confirmed the story, so I knew it was right. Quincy told me that they ran into Benicia. She jumped in the car and ran in, you know what I'm saying? They wanted Benicia to help Jessica, or help them find Jessica. So she got in the car and they went in, you know what I'm saying, tried to find her. And they ended up running into her at the top of a hill or something like that. It's from my understanding. But
why were they trying to find her?
I have no idea why they was trying to find her.
All right. So they were trying to find her, and then they found her. What happened from there?
He went into the story. Like I said, this story's been, when he told me this was probably February, March, that's several months ago. I tried to get Jamie Mills to come back up and talk to me about it, and I could have went ahead and gave him the full-fledged story, but since then I haven't given him much thought until just recently. I tried to go back and remember what he told me, but you know, he told me the whole story, but I can't say detail for detail. I can tell you some things he mentioned, but I can't tell you, you know what I'm saying, action for action. You know what I'm saying, every move he made. You know what I'm saying, he told me, but I don't. Even then, he didn't go in to say, hey man, I moved my hand here, I moved my hand there. He didn't go in it like that.
Tell me what you remember.
I just remember certain things that he mentioned, you know, like, I remember he mentioned some ripping of some clothes. Several things, for real. I remember he said, mentioning taking the body through a field, dumping the body. Remember him telling me about a Benicia and trying to make her light the matches and throw it on the body. It's several things. See, I can write them down quick. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no questions to ask me, so you can bring it to my memory.
Did they, how long did they keep her before she died, after they found her? Do you remember?
I
Did he say
have
anything
no
like that?
idea.
Okay. When they were talking about, well, did they talk about beating her up or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quincy was, he mentioned, I remember one time he said when it was some point, they was fighting in the back seat, you know what I'm saying, of Austin's car. It was Venetia and Austin in the front seat, and it was Quincy in the back seat with
Jessica.
Mm-hmm. They was in the back seat and they got to fighting or something, and Jessica at one point, the way he said it, she had got out and started running away from the car, and he got out and chased after her, I guess. And he had mentioned to me he had a bat, you know what I'm saying, he had a bat, and when she was running, he hit her in the head with the bat. Said he hit her several times. She fell, he started kicking her, he was still continuously, like I said, when I would give him props about the situation, I would feed his ego, and he would, can I show you?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was sitting on the, on my step,
mm-hmm.
and I had my knees pulled up like this, and I'm looking at it, and he would be like, man, he's just real hyperactive. And he'd go deep into the story and be like, man, I started doing this, man, I was kicking her, man, I was hitting her. You know what I'm saying? He actually acted out, you know? I'm like, God, man, this dude was crazy, you know what I'm saying? But then I would tell him, man, you nuts. You know what I'm saying? I guess after me getting in a fight with him, it made him feel better after that, you know, me feeding him, making him feel better about himself, you know, because he's thinking that I'm approving of this. And what he's done, but really I'm gonna kick his teeth in. But like I said, they was at some point she had gotten out of the car, took off running, and he'd start beating her, you know what I'm saying, with the bat and stuff like that. But at some point Austin, they met up or he drove to her, I can't say, I don't know, you know what I'm saying. And I remember he mentioned something about dragging her, putting a belt around her neck and dragging her across the concrete. And he mentioned her grasping for her, she was gagging, you know what I'm saying, trying to get the belt off her neck.
That Quincy was dragging her? Or
yeah, Quincy was, no, Quincy said he was. Quincy was dragging her, you know what I'm saying, on the ground, on the concrete. At one point he said he tried to take off running and put the belt on him or something, and tried to take off running with the belt on her back, you know what I'm saying, around her neck, dragging her across the concrete. I'm like, man, this dude's crucial. You know, he's heartless. You know, but he was telling me these things, and I don't remember exactly what point he said, but at some point Austin had got involved or something, and I remember he did say Austin came over and he got a couple kicks in, you know. They was more or less both involved in beating her and stuff like that. You know, they both kicking her and stuff like that. My mind just went blank.
Did Venetia ever tell you that she participated in helping punch or kick or bite, scratch, anything that she could have done?
Venetia said, she told me in unspecific words, she said, just because I was there, it does not mean that I participated. You know.
Did she tell you that she did anything to try to stop it?
She said, said nothing whatsoever. As a matter of fact, she said she deserved it because she's a snitch. I don't, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna tell on one of them guys, or, to my knowledge, is a police officer, an ex-police officer that's involved in all this. Just from my knowledge, so I'm trying to connect these people together, you know what I'm saying? Here recently, I put a whole lot of thought into it, and I've tried to connect it. There's some dots missing, but there's more dots there than.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, they beat her, pulled her with a belt around her neck, then what happened?
I mean, I can't tell you what happened next, but I can tell you what I can't go into detail, you know what I'm saying? I can't.
Do you know what, was she alive when they poured the gas on her, do you know? Did it say that she was alive?
Quincy, I remember he said, when he was pulling her with the belt, and she was grasping for her, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to get the belt off her neck, but, you know what I'm saying? Quincy said he was dragging her. He mentioned that her body went limp. She stopped doing everything, you know what I'm saying? That's what that meant to me. Going limp, is dead, you know. I don't know if that's what she died from or what, but I know what he told me, you know.
Did it tell you who actually poured the gas on her? Where they got the gas or anything like that?
Yeah. Venetia, Venetia told me that Quincy had stolen a gas can out of a garage. I don't know where the garage is. I don't know nothing about that. He didn't go into that, he didn't tell me at 11th Street or this house. He didn't go at the, Venetia told me that he stole the gas can out of a garage. I remember the gas was poured into at some point the gas was poured into another bottle, a water bottle. I remember Venetia told me that after they dumped the body, they had left and at some point and went and got the gas or whatever, and at some point came back and parked the car behind the Board of Education. She did not say that Austin Leach, the white guy, was present at this time. I don't know if he was or not, but said that they had walked back to the crime scene, or not to the crime scene, but the body dumping scene. Because it's, to my knowledge, that she was killed in a certain parking lot, which I don't know which one it is, but she was killed at this parking lot, dumped at the school, they left and returned again. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm getting out of the story, from two different parties.
Then you said earlier that, did you tell me that Venetia was the one that was going to light the matches?
See, I told her that Quincy told me, I said, well, Quincy said, you know what I'm saying, that was just something I threw in, something I made up. You know what I'm saying? I said, well, Quincy told me that you said that you lit the matches. He made you light the matches. She said, no, I didn't light the matches just because I was there.